That is what this time is about right now. It is about putting you in the light, in the face of the things that you have been neglecting, haven't accepted, have had hidden, um, have shown indifference to, have dismissed. That's what's happening. You might as well get used to it because it's going to be like that for a long time. Okay? Right and left. I've already said that. I'm still saying it. Right and left. And 2025 is not even here yet. I told you, I've been telling y'all that. 2025, it's going to get worse for these people who don't want to face. You're going to see just who fear the light, the people who don't want it exposed in their face. These are the ones that you need to question. These are the ones that's going to need, many of them are going to need extreme patience. And how interesting, because many of them are impatient. The ones that require the most patience are impatient. They're impatient. It's time for y'all to start seeing people for who they really are. Like, whether they want you to or not, that shit is getting exposed. You don't want it exposed? Don't be in the public. Don't be in public. Don't be in the public. If you don't want it exposed, don't be in the public. I don't know how else to keep stressing that to you. You people with your extreme sensitivities to words and whatever. Words, whether they're verbal or written. If you're sensitive to criticism, you stay out of the public. Because people are not, they're tired of not being themselves. You have people out here who rather you not be yourself. They rather inhibit you from being yourself in an effort to control them not showing you who they really are. So you got both situations going on. They're inhibiting you from showing yourself and who you really are and your truth, so they don't have to do it. Not no more. That time is over. I'ma stress it as long as y'all need me to stress it. I mean, I don't understand, but what you don't get. But it seems like the people who are having a hard time dealing with this are the people who haven't invited change. They don't invite change. They don't want change. Many of them are conventional in their mindsets. That shit over. I don't know what to tell you, but you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time. That shit is over. Don't do it. I'm telling you, if you cannot deal with the public, don't deal in the public. Don't. Not now. Not during this time. That's not what you want. You can't say what you want to say and think people not gonna critique it. Because you could very well be offending people. Just like you don't know what offends people, people don't know what offends you. But yet, just like you have an opinion, people have their opinions as well. That's all a part of diversity. That's all a part of diversity, which that's what America is about. You either gonna stand on that shit or go. Leave. Stay out of the public. I mean, you don't gotta listen. I don't control what anybody does. I'm just giving you suggestions. I'm offering suggestions of what you can do to help you while you work through this issue during this time. All you people who think the inauguration is not happening, it is. Even if it's by a different means of happening, it's going to happen. A lot of y'all are sweating December 17th. I wonder why. Why y'all sweating that day? This is ridiculous. These are grown people. We ain't talking about the kiddos. These are grown people with this behavior. Grown children. That's what I call them. Grown children. Y'all about to find out just what the childlike essence is in people. The children of the light are about to take over. That's why I can tell you, in case you didn't know, the children of the light are about to take over. Yeah, them kids from the 80s and 90s. We're grown now. We haven't forgotten. A lot of us remember a lot of shit. Okay? And a lot of you just need to understand. The old ways don't serve the new purpose. We're getting rid of it. Nobody want to deal with that. I love it because I love what's happening right now. You know, if you notice, everybody noticed there's a shift in the energy. Most people realize that there's a shift in the energy. They just don't know where their cards are going to land. Many of them don't know. I just found, it just came to me that another reason why I bother people is because of the things that I know about them. And the things that they're not comfortable with themselves or within themselves. I already told y'all what kind of people I attract, okay? I told y'all this. This is my energy. It's what I attract to me. And I'm telling you, this is a nasty energy. It is very spiteful, hateful, jealous, envious, entitled, undermining, a lot of them seem to work on a narcissistic philosophy. I'm better than you. You should know that. I need to make sure I'm better than you. You need to make sure I'm better than you. I am better than you. You're not smarter than me. I bet you don't even know. You're low vibrational. You don't need to offer. Wait till I ask you. You think you know so much. But I remember when. But I bet you didn't. My whole point is this is very antagonistic behavior that I attract. Some of them are like this on the outside, they express it. Some of them are like this on the inside. But most of them are like this on the inside, where they're expressing it and they're not relating to it that way. Where they're realizing that it's them who's exhibiting that behavior onto somebody else. They don't realize that. That's why a lot of people have hindered me. Or inhibited me some kind of way. They used to try to make me feel like I wasn't what I was, or basically made me feel like I wasn't the truth. Nobody could ever do that shit now, but that's what happened. And a lot of them knew that I knew what they were hiding. A lot of them knew. I was isolated a lot. Made to do things against my will. I was betrayed by people who were charged with my care. I was alienated from my mother as a child, as a baby. Made to feel like if I wanted to be acknowledged, I had to earn it. I wasn't supposed to attach to anyone. Because remember I told y'all that I kept trying to attach to everything and everybody. And I could never stay attached. And now I know why. Now I know why. Because attaching to something makes you vulnerable. And for me to be attached, it would have taught me that I always needed someone, which made me vulnerable, or I always needed something which made me vulnerable. It was a weakness. And it is a weakness. So it's a weakness that you would have to be willing to go through. If it was ever necessary. And that's what a weakness and a vulnerability is. It's something that you're willing to go through. It's a will. And some people won't make that choice. They don't want any vulnerabilities and they don't want any weaknesses. And That is their imperfection. And they don't want you to ever know that. And these are the type of people that I attract. And they know that I can see that. Which is extremely dangerous on both ends. Because these type of people will go to any cost to keep their imperfections to themselves. The things they are not willing to say or do. It's definitely because it's a vulnerability. In order to not seem cowardly, you can't show weakness and vulnerability in their mind. They have bred monsters. And when I say monsters, I mean people who have went through the worst of the worst and are still here to fight. They took us through means of such suppression and oppression, whether it was emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually, verbally. How can you not expect that we didn't also go through something spiritually? That didn't come into your mind. Because people love to talk about the four, especially scientists. They love to talk about and give information on the four: mental, physical, emotional, verbal. Types of health and hygiene things. But they don't talk about the spiritual. This is where science and the church split. So medicine and the church, this is where they split. So the scientists won't talk to you or say anything to you about the spiritual. They will send you to the church for that part. But the church is corrupt. They have the same types of people that have been a part of the oppression and suppression. Many of the light workers now. You know, one of the number one concerns in this country for many Americans, the children. Yeah, y'all forgot about us. Y'all forgot about us. Y'all forgot about us. Y'all forgot about the ones of us that went through the worst of the worst. Between the 70s and the 90s. You forgot about us. But there's so many of us out here right now ready for this fight. You forgot about us. All this shit coming out in the news now about the child trafficking. All this shit coming out now about the child. I've seen so many news articles come through in reference to them busting child trafficking rings. I haven't ever seen this many in a short span of time. Ever. That's not a coincidence that that's going on at the same time that the media is blowing up over Allie Carter and how she's tied to P. Diddy and how he's tied to trafficking. And also, services, human services. The people who were charged with taking care of the children. He's tired of them too. Y'all don't remember that clip where he was saying how he adopted Usher or something? And then Usher adopted Justin or something, and P. Diddy, okay? All of this stuff going on in this moment in time. You think that's just gonna go away? No. No. You don't think Congress is aware? They are now. Fully on alert. And I think this been a concern, but it's blowing up now. At the same time as P. Diddy getting locked up. At the same time that Oprah Winfrey goes under fire. Ellen DeGeneres goes under fire. Sean Carter is going under fire. Beyonce Knowles is going under fire. Denzel Washington is going under fire. Jennifer Lopez is going under fire. Ashton Kutcher. Leonardo DiCaprio. What? Kevin Hart. What? Joe Biden. Hunter Biden. Bill Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Barack Obama. Michelle Obama. LeBron James. What? You got those that it's like it's a barrier, y'all. It's a barrier. It is an extreme barrier. That's what it is, an extreme barrier. They just cannot defiance. They cannot go against what they think they know. Unless they physically see something to the contrary. Some of them have solidified the concepts of another person's understanding as their own, And so because that person says blah 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 blah, usually based on their background, they'll go with that person says over you, even if you're telling the truth. These type of people put me in the mind of seconds. Number twos. They put me in the minds of seconds. Number twos. The confidant, the associate, the assistant of number ones. So in that sense, you can also look at these people as loyalists having to be the anti-loyalists as well, because they're number twos. That means they have to think. They don't have to, but they can. They can be required to think on behalf of the number ones, or in the number ones, on the number one's behalf. Yep. Who do you know does that? Who would be a number two to you? These are just my thoughts. I just thought I'd share them with you guys. I got a little vulnerable myself with y'all earlier, but things come to me, and I kind of feel the need to express them when they come to me, because I don't know who they may help, and I don't know who I may help to see something differently. I don't know. But I do mean well, you know. I mean well, even if it's tough, in a tough way. That's just my nature. That's who I am. It's called tough love. Because I know everybody's throwing that word around. Okay? But it's also important for everybody to understand that we don't love in the same way. It doesn't mean we don't love you. It means we don't love in the same way. And there are different things that people require to trust. Why wouldn't you think it's different things that require people to, you know, love? Because it is. We come from different backgrounds. The same way we understand that you guys need to understand that as well. We do not all love the same. Love to us may seem like harshness to you. That's for those of us who understand who we are and where it's coming from. You can't tell us where our type of love comes from unless you've been in our background and you know our background from personal experience. You can't say that. Many of us come from tough love, but at the time it was not perceived that way. We did not understand it as such. But that takes healing to understand why you went through something. And tough love didn't just come, or may not have come, from our parental figures. The divine sets the course of action for our life and how it's going to go. So it's going to dictate the areas of our life where tough love may be needed or will be needed, and for what reasons. When that comes to you and you understand what the reason was, you grow from it. You're supposed to grow from it. But you got to face it first. And you've got to discern about it as well. Yes, many of us. You know, many of us You know, it's interesting how everybody gets labeled in this country. Like they're so used to labels. They label everything. You have to label it. Even when you're talking about a certain people, you have to label them. Case in point, lefties or MAGA. But lefties have another reason. I have another reasoning for calling lefties. Not just because of politics. I have nothing to do with the fact that my understanding about lefties also correlates with your understanding with lefties. That's what I noticed. But when you ask questions like, are the people who voted for MAGA educated? And then follow up with, are they more educated than the left? I have concerns about your need or your want to ask this question as a light worker. I think that it's essential for light workers. I mean, I don't even really think I need to. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. I think it's essential for light workers to be neutral. If you're not in a space where you can be neutral, you're not ready for light work. And it goes back to healing and accepting yourself for you as you. Because otherwise, you're vulnerable. You have a weakness, which is associated with cowardness. And so on and so forth. So it's definitely a point in your life, or there's an area in your life where this has to happen for you to transcend in this area in life. It has to happen. So it's an area that you don't want to face, but you have to. I'm telling you, going forward, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And that for me is what makes me smile when I feel the vibration of the people who I'm resonating with in this world. Like, they feel something coming, and it's for the good for them. And a lot of us are fighters. We're fighters. So if you want to look at it in terms of, for many of us, not all of us, the inside coming out or the inside showing more, or like I said, what's been suppressed and what's been oppressed is now going to be lifted, because that's what's happening. But let me get up off here. I ain't even mean to be talking this long, but I've been speaking with Allie and Shelly, knowing that they're okay, and hearing the stuff they're still dealing with, but knowing that it's so many of us now. She says she needs U.S. She needs U.S. people. She got so many overseas already, but she needs more in the U.S. now. She's putting together, she's putting something together. That's what I can tell you. But I was just happy to hear from them. I'm glad they're doing well as they can be. It's a shame that they have to be, or be made to feel on the run. Like, they have to be on the run because people are trying to hurt them or take them out or cause them problems. And if you're not wondering why that is, why someone can't drive on American soil with an American license with their family and not be stopped by police, that's a problem. When they haven't committed a crime, they haven't done anything. And each time, nothing comes out of the stop. How many of you deal with this so much? It doesn't make any sense. And for people to be like, she's lying and all of this, and they don't personally know her, is interesting to me, because these would be the same people who would not want you doing that shit to them. Who would not want you to look the other way for them. Who probably tells people to do good to people and be respectful and courteous, and you show support and stuff like that. A lot of them are so-called Christians. Okay, but that's it. I gotta go. I haven't even eaten yet, and it is 11:37. So let me go. Yeah, I'm getting ready to do my astrology readings. I'm going to be doing them for the signs for 2025. I will be putting them out in a couple. You'll see it soon. But after I do this video introducing you to my readings, they won't be back on YouTube. I'll be doing them on another site. So if you want to see them, you can see them there if you wish, if you can. All right, y'all.